Good morning, everybody. Welcome back. There's almost got selections here for Wednesday, November 17th. Before we get into today's play of the day, quick recap of what we said. Yesterday, we gave out a college football play. We had Miami, Ohio team total over 34 at minus 118 on Fox Bet. And Miami scored 5 touchdowns. Unfortunately, they only made 4 extra points. One of them got blocked as they finished with exactly 34. To make matters worse, they had 34 in the first 3 quarters and then got held scoreless in the fourth. They had 4th and 4 at about the 24-yard line or something, and instead of kicking the field goal, they went for it, didn't get it, and finished with 34. So at the end of the day, it's a bad beat push, but yesterday was a great example of why it's always important to shop your lines. I know most books had 34.5. We found a 34, and we took advantage of it because most people probably got a loss on that, but we got a push. So it's not exactly an ideal situation, but to be honest, after the Wizards had that huge comeback the day prior, I can live with a push. It's not exactly ideal, but it is what it is. I'll look for a bounce back or just a winner in general on Wednesday. Before the play today, looking at an NBA game between two really, really bad basketball teams. You have a matchup between the Rockets and the Thunder taking place at around 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we're going to take the Thunder, minus 2.5 at minus 110 on DraftKings. Time recording of 11:57 a.m. Eastern time. Covers why I like the Thunder in the spot. First of all, Oklahoma City's been playing better lately. It has won 4 of its last 6 games, while the Rockets have lost 12 in a row. Now, the Thunder have lost each of the last 2 games, so they were on a 4-game winning streak and then have lost a couple. But you look at who they've played, the 2 losses came against the Nets, arguably the best team in the Eastern Conference, and the Heat, one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. So I'm not going to overreact to them losing there. They played against 2 quality teams, but the teams that they beat before that beat the Kings, beat the Pelicans, beat the Spurs, and even beat the Lakers. But you're looking at the Rockets. This team is awful, and there's really no other way around it. They're 1-13. They're giving the Pelicans a run for their money for who's the worst team in the league. But you look at the opponents that this team has faced recently, some of them are good, but they've also lost to some pretty bad teams, and those games haven't really been close. They ended up losing to the Pistons at home a couple of days ago, lost that one by 8. They've lost to a lot of teams here that are just either mediocre or just decent, but they're 1-13 overall. And on top of that, they're 0-8 on the road. They can't win a road game to save their lives, and 6 of the 8 road losses have come by at least 10 points. So this team really struggles to actually just show up on the highway. And the Thunder ended up playing against them once this season. The Rockets absolutely killed them, but that was the second game of the year. I'm not going to overreact to it. In fact, I actually think that'll provide some motivation for the Thunder because the last time they played, the Rockets fared pretty well. I think Oklahoma City's actually going to be motivated to bounce back at home, especially since this team was playing some decent basketball about a week ago before it faced off against 2 of the better teams in the Eastern Conference. But the main differential between these teams is the defensive efficiency numbers, as Oklahoma City ranks 15th. So it's a league average defense, while Houston ranks 23rd. Both offenses, you have the worst offense against the second worst offense, so I do think those two will be pretty close to each other. So the defense might be the deciding factor in this game, and Oklahoma City definitely has the better defense. But you also have to look at Houston potentially missing a starting point guard because Kevin Porter is questionable with a thigh injury, and we all know after he put up 50 points against Milwaukee last year that he has the capability of putting up some big numbers. I'm not sure if he would go for 30 in this game if he was playing, but I do think that he's a weapon, and if Houston is going to be without him, they might be a little bit more shorthanded offensively. But you're looking at a situation where the Thunder, simply put, even though they're not a good basketball team, they're better than the Rockets. The Rockets have gotten killed for the last week and a half, and you can go through the last couple performances, which I will. Most of the games in this 12-game losing streak have really not been close. They lost to the Grizzlies on the road by 34, played the Suns, lost 115-98, played the Trailblazers, lost by 12, played the Pistons, lost by 8, Warriors lost by 13, played the Nuggets, lost by 1, Suns lost by 12, Lakers lost by 2, Lakers lost by 13. You get the idea. They're getting killed left and right, and I do think that for a spread this low against a team that's lost 12 in a row, I think that there's just some value on that because Houston, until they win a road game, I'll fade them, and I do think that this line should continue to climb. So play that once again here for Wednesday, November 17th is going to be on the Thunder, minus 2.5 and minus 110 on DraftKings. Bye, everyone.